And no matter who you vote for come November, if you don't stay active after that, things go astray. That's exactly what's happened right now.
What's up, everyone? You watch On Air Nick Java podcast here on YouTube, Facebook. And guys, we have got a special guest today, Mr. Larry Loucks, who is running for Zebulon mayor. And to let you guys know, we have had on so far Gilbert Todd, Jessica Harrison, and Larry Loucks will be our third mayoral candidate to come on. Guys, I would love to extend the invitation as well to any other candidates who are running for mayor. The people would love to hear from you. And also, everyone who is running for commissioner. These are all very important jobs. But that being said, guys, I want to give a big shout out to George Roa, who is actually running for commissioner this year. He has helped me film all of these videos. I could not do it without him. And he's even filmed the videos where people are running in opposition of him for the commissioner seat. So, hey, we're doing it in collaboration, making these videos happen for you guys. Could not do this without all of us working together. What's up, everybody? You watch your On Air Nick Java podcast here on YouTube and Facebook. Guys, I am here with Mr. Larry. You are running for mayor here.
That's correct, Nick.
Thank you for joining us today. And tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, first of all, thank you for the invitation, and I do hope all the candidates take this opportunity to speak to the public.
Yes, sir.
And I hope after the election you also talk to the mayor and candidate or the commissioners so you can hear from them what's actually going on month to month.
Noted. Yes,
Okay.
sir.
I've been in town for 42 years, been involved in public service for about 35 of those 42. Started off as a youth coach doing basketball and baseball. From there, I went on to the Board of Adjustments for 29 years, 24 actually as chairman. I've also been the treasurer of the Zebulon Elementary PTA. I've helped judge Miss Zebulon, Miss Wendell. I've tried to be involved in things in town to make this a better place for all of us.
Right.
So it's community service at its best.
Absolutely. I've heard you've served a lot in local government. Can you share a little bit about that experience?
Well, the 4 years as commissioner were very interesting. You think you know what you're getting into, and you quickly find out that in marriage, you have 50% of the say-so. When you're a commissioner, you get 20%.
Okay.
Because there's 5 people voting. And not everyone does their homework. Not everyone's probably qualified to be sitting there. And it didn't run as smooth as I thought it should. And I remember asking Mayor Bob Matheny, what do I need to know? And he said, Larry, the first thing you need to know is what you legally can do and what is illegal for you to do. Make sure you always approach everything with those two things first. And you have to do what the law says. You can't be self-serving. You can't have your own opinion. You really need to talk to the people, look at the law, and follow it accordingly.
Now, Mr. Matheny, he won, how many elections did he win?
He was mayor for 28 years, 7 terms, the longest serving mayor in Wake County.
Wow, that's amazing. I saw some data on that the other day, and you're absolutely right, actually. That's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so tell us a little bit about your campaign and what's the main vision that you're running on?
Well, we obviously have some things to clean up in town, and I'm actually running on the acronym SAFETY.
Okay.
Where S stands for safety, and I'll go over that in detail, or you can look at my webpage.
Okay.
A stands for affordability,
Okay.
which includes not only mixed housing, but also we have the highest municipal tax rate in Wake County. Our budget went from $12 million in 2019 all the way up to $26.3 million this year. It'll soon triple from 2019. We have tremendous growth and tremendous money coming in, so we have to manage that accordingly. F stands for fun. We all want to live in a fun, vibrant city where you have places to shop, things to do. You really don't want to leave because it's a vibrant, fun community. E stands for economic development and education. They kind of go hand in hand.
Okay.
And when I talk about economic development, it's not only property taxes, it's jobs. I would like to see more people stay and work in Zebulon and not have to drive somewhere. Education, we're sitting in a really nice position that we have Wake Tech right down the road, and more of our citizens need to take advantage of that campus.
Sure.
Okay. The T stands for transportation and transparency, 2 things we are woefully lacking in. We're at an advantage that we have 2 state roads going through our town,
right,
but there's not a whole lot we can do unless we partner with DOT because they're state roads. The same thing with county roads. We have to partner and work with a county. And a lot of people ask me, how do I know where a state road is or a county road? If you look at a street sign,
Okay.
up in the upper right-hand corner, you will see an SR or a CR.
Right.
That means it's a state road or county road. So that gives you some idea what I can control, what I can't.
Right.
Transparency, we are terrible at. I ask people, for example, do you understand the town budget? People do not. I ask people, do you know how much people make here? Have you ever seen a salary listing? Have you ever seen occupations and how much people in this town make? That's public information. It should be shared.
Yes, sir.
And then the why of safety is the most important. That stands for you. Government cannot work without citizen involvement. And no matter who you vote for come November, if you don't stay active after that, things go astray. That's exactly what's happened right now.
I got you.
So safety is the acronym to kind of remember.
So, Mr. Laird, you are running on safety as your acronym, correct?
As my acronym, and once again, safety, affordability, fun, economic development / education, transparency and transportation, and then you. And that's a very important part of this.
That's good. That's good. From your perspective, what are some of the biggest challenges facing Zebulon right now?
Well, our credibility across the county is not good right now. And people have asked me, what do you think we need to do first? And it's kind of hard to say there's one thing you do first because there's a lot of things that need to be done. But I think hiring a town manager who's experienced and seasoned and has helped the town grow is probably the number one thing. And we've been looking for a town manager literally for a couple years. I mean, it's really kind of sad. The same thing, the town clerk position, I believe, went vacant 3.5 years.
Right. Wow.
I mean, there's no reason for that.
There's been a lot of news regarding the Zebulon South development, lawsuit, all of that being settled. What's your take on that?
Zebulon South, or Deacon Development,
Yes,
the company
Deacon
that did
Development,
it, was probably the best developer I worked with the 4 years I was a commissioner. Normally, when you want something from a developer, you ask for 10 things because you only want 5. I mean, it's a dance, it's a negotiation. I found out early on a lot of commissioners never met with developers, which I thought was absurd.
Well, that's kind of awkward, ain't it?
Right.
You would think you would want to know as much.
Right. The developer obviously meets with the planning department first, but then all the commissioners and mayor should meet with the developer and find out exactly what they want. Every time I asked something for Deacon Development, they gave it to me. They gave me land for a fire substation. They expanded the pool, the greenway. They worked with us on affordable housing. They literally did everything we asked. But I think a couple commissioners had a personal prejudice towards the developer or the developer's attorney, and consequently, that hurt them making a decision. And you can't do that. You have to do what's best for the town.
Now, for all of us watching, maybe people that aren't as into and as informational as you are, who would those commissioners be that you felt like were maybe like you just explained?
Well, if you go back to the meeting, Jessica Harrison made the motion,
Okay.
and then Miles, Baxter, and Davis all voted it down.
Okay.
Only Clark voted in favor of it. So based upon that vote, I'd have to say 4 people went
Okay.
against the development, and you can see the outcome of the lawsuit. Originally, they were asking for about $450,000, and there recently was a bill passed where the court could have 10 times that. So we potentially were looking at almost a $5 million lawsuit, not to mention what would come out in depositions when a commissioner's sitting there in a jury box and has to talk.
Wow.
So they were wise to sell it when they did, but this is a 3.5, 4-year project. That's inexcusable.
Right.
If you were a developer, would you want to do business with Zebulon?
Yeah. I mean, that's the question that the voters are going to have to answer, you know?
That's correct.
If you had been mayor during that entire situation, what would you have done differently?
Well, the mayor, we hear this cliche all the time that
Sure.
our charter is that the mayor is weak.
Yeah.
I don't necessarily agree with that.
Okay.
The mayor cannot vote unless he breaks a tie. But the mayor is supposed to be a leader, develop the agenda, help with long-term planning, actually help educate. I have to thank Mayor Matheny. We did something when he was mayor that ceased when Mayor York got in there. We used to privately meet with Mayor Matheny monthly and just talk issues out. You can't solve everything in a 3-hour meeting once a month.
Sure.
You need to be talking off. And because of the quorum rules, the mayor can meet with up to 2 commissioners at a time. And we need to train each other because we all bring a different skill set to the job,
Right.
and we can all learn from each other. And that's the one thing I don't think commissioners are doing right now, is learning from each other. For example, one year when we were approving the budget, I was the only one that realized the budget didn't add up. Only because I added the ledgers up and read the material. No one else caught it.
Now, I don't know if you saw the podcast we did with Jesse Brown,
Yes, I did.
but he mentioned that you're very good with books.
Yeah, I have 3 college degrees. I have a 51-year career. I worked for 30 years with NC State, where I managed huge multi-million-dollar budgets, hundreds of employees. I do understand the numbers.
Okay.
And I'm welcome to explain that to people. I've explained the town budget to citizens who've come to me and said, explain our budget.
Sure.
And I can't do it in 5 minutes because it's kind of complicated.
Yeah, that would be a very lengthy thing for you to have to do.
But we should all understand it.
Yeah, I think it's super important, and if you want to at a later date, maybe you could come on our podcast and maybe explain that to us.
Sure, I'd be happy to.
There seems to be a lot of tension amongst commissioners lately. If you were mayor, what changes would you like to see, and how would you work together with people that maybe do not share your same opinions on certain situations here?
Well, I guess fortunate, since I was 24 years old, I've been a supervisor and had people report to me. So I've had a lengthy career of working with all kinds of people. The first thing I learned is you have to listen.
Yeah.
You do not know everything.
Right.
So you need to listen to people, even opposing views. I think the mayor should be meeting with the commissioners monthly on a private basis just to review things and be apprised of what decisions are getting ready to be made. I don't think that's happening. Because I know I served with Mayor York for 2 years. I think I had 1 meeting with him in 2 years. He did not want to meet with the commissioners like we did with Mayor Matheny.
Okay, so Mr. York was just, Mayor York he was just, I guess, from your point of view, he was less hands-on than Matheny?
A totally different management style than Matheny.
Okay.
Totally different. And the mayor needs to work with all the commissioners and the town staff.
And you don't particularly agree with that type of management style?
No, I'm more hands-on. I listen to people. I like to talk problems out. I like to think about potential solutions. Sometimes there's more than one solution to a problem.
Yeah. Now, I want to ask you something. You were mentioning that the mayor actually can break tie votes, right?
It gets a little complicated based upon reading the charter. Yeah, Nick, very good question on the mayor breaking a tie. During a normal board meeting where you have a motion and the commissioners vote on it, you can have an instance if there's a commissioner vacant, the seat's vacant,
Yes, sir.
and or a commissioner's not at the meeting, they're absent, then you could have a 2-2 vote. Then the mayor can break the tie. Based upon the charter that the town of Zebulon has to follow, if you're appointing someone to a open seat, you have to use what's called plurality,
Okay.
which means whoever gets the most number of votes is who would get the seat.
Okay.
In the case of the meeting the other night where it was 2-2,
Yes.
the mayor cannot break it. Now flash back to 2022, I
Yes, sir.
believe,
Yes, sir.
where we had the incident where Glenn was elected mayor and it opened his seat up. The attorneys allowed the mayor to vote and break the tie. Technically, that's wrong based upon the town charter.
So what you're saying is the 2022 vote was technically illegal?
Technically illegal based upon the town charter,
Wow.
but I think if you went and look at state law, there are incidences where the
Gray
mayor-
area.
Right, can break the tie. Anyhow,
Okay.
it's pretty much water over the dam at this point.
Right.
It probably shouldn't have happened, and I think we need to do a better job. I don't know how many commissioners have actually read the charter. I really don't. I know at one point in time in talking to commissioners, they did not know the town manager had an employment contract.
How long is a charter?
I'm trying to remember how many pages. It's not a huge document.
Okay. It's not like 800 pages?
No, and it's relatively easy to read, but you have to
Okay.
go through it paragraph by paragraph.
I got you. So Okay, so George Roa is running for commissioner and wants to require the town to post meeting and vote information on Facebook well in advance. Do you feel like that's a good thing, or do you think the town is doing a good job with that when it comes to social media and stuff?
Yeah, I think the town is doing a rather poor job of communicating in general.
Okay.
Flash back to one of the budget years, I asked a question about those big orange LED information boards that we would put up for like Rock the Block or Candy Cane Lane.
Yes, sir.
And I was told we rent those. And I'm like, we use those enough. If there's
Just
ever,
buy them, right?
Right. If there's ever any spare money in the budget, I think we should probably buy some. But I say that because they can be used year round. If you have an LED information board, why would you not put it up where you can broadcast information to people? One of my wishes, and one of the things I tried to get done, is I actually wanted an LED information board, a permanent one, on all 4 entryways into town, so we could actually publish this stuff daily on what's going on. I pushed for a communications director, which we had, and I didn't think, Caleb was his name, and I didn't think he did a really good job of pushing information out. There were a lot of posts that said, "Good morning, Zebulon." Well, that's very nice, but give me a piece of information. Remind me about a meeting coming up. Remind me what some issues are. Remind people about ordinances.
Give the citizens the things that they want to...
Right.
Okay.
Now, transparency and communication go hand in hand. And unfortunately, you can't have everyone communicating because you start having a mixed message. For example, when there's a shooting or something in town, a lot of commissioners' phones start lighting up. The TV stations, the radio stations have our name and number. We cannot all comment on what's going on because we don't have all the facts. So the town actually needs a spokesperson. For example, if there's a fire in town, I'm not a fireman, I am not on site. What can I actually say to the media about the fire? Right. They need to talk to Chief Perry or to who the spokesperson is. And we need to do a far better job of that. Some commissioners do like to get in front of a camera, and some don't. The spokesman is who gets in front of the camera. There should be one voice talking.
Absolutely, absolutely. Switching gears here, I had Gilbert Todd, who's going to be one of your opponents, coming up on the podcast, and he shared a side of his story about being hired and later resigning as town manager. I spoke to Commissioner Jessica Harrison regarding this, and she kind of backed up the idea of Gilbert maybe wasn't qualified to do that job. What is your perspective on what happened?
I think he was really put in a no-win situation.
Okay.
I don't think he had the experience and the qualifications to be a town manager. All right.
And I think Gilbert would tell us that too.
Right. The board selected him and actually put him in a no-win situation. I think they thought they had a puppet, and they now had an employee, because in the town of Zebulon, the board does have 3 employees: the town manager, the town clerk, and the town attorney. Those are our only 3 employees. But they're supposed to be subject matter experts. For example, I've told people Kellyanne, who is the assistant town manager, had far more experience in town government than the mayor and the entire town board together.
Wow.
Why would you have not talked to Kellyanne about who do you think we should hire? And when we did bring Gilbert in, who would be best to train him? Okay, I understand the board picked their own consultant to train Gilbert. I thought that was ridiculous.
Right.
We should have looked at all the consultants available. I would have leaned on Kellyanne for some advice. I probably would have leaned on UNC School of Government for some advice. Unfortunately, there's no such thing as a town manager degree where you can go to college to become a town manager. You come in with either a degree in business, public administration, political science, but there's a great deal to learn. Having 3 college degrees and have taught at 3 universities, when I became a commissioner, I truly thought I was prepared and ready. I will admit I drank through a fire hose the first year.
Okay.
There is so much you have to learn. So much about bonds, about tax rates. How much sales tax revenue do I get back from the state? How about the gas tax? Where does that money go? How do the roads get repaved every year? When a development comes in, I remember I asked one year, I wanted a report month by month of how many houses are being built. That's what helps you project your property tax revenue in the years to come. There's over, I believe, right around 2,000 houses that have been approved that haven't even been built yet. That's a phenomenal tax revenue.
Right.
That's in the future. Now, will they all be built? Will they all be purchased? We'll wait and see.
Right.
Hopefully so.
Right. I want to bring this up, and again, we're just bringing up things that are topics here in town.
Sure.
So, not to single anyone out, but one of our commissioners here is facing a 61-page challenge to his residency in town. As mayor, how would you make sure our leaders actually live here in Zebulon, and what is your take on that particular situation?
Two answers to that question. Number one, a mayor and an elected official should be accessible. Being accessible means you should have my cell phone number and you should have my home address. When I was a commissioner, I received anonymous letters in the mail because, and I don't know if they were town employees or citizens, but they had something they wanted me to know and they didn't want me to know who they were.
Right.
So people would mail things to me. On our website, on the town website, every elected official's name, title, home address, and phone number should be there. I was taught when I went through the UNC School of Government course, you were to respond to emails and phone calls and text within 48 hours. That's the goal you should shoot for. Even if you don't have an answer, you tell your constituent, I got your message, I'm working on it. You're supposed to communicate. I think if that was published, we would know.
Yeah.
I have seen some documents floating around for some people where I'm not sure where they live because there's different addresses on different documents.
Right.
And that, to me, that doesn't make any sense. I've lived in the same house for 42 years.
Right.
Boom, I've been there. I understand people move around, but if you go look at a police report, you go look at the Board of Elections documents, you look at legal documents, the same address should be on all of them.
Sure.
There shouldn't be different addresses used for different things. It just doesn't make any sense.
Absolutely. Speaking of police documents, on Juneteenth celebration here in Zebulon. Now, it was the unofficial one down here in Zebulon Park. There was they announced that there was shots fired out there. So a lot of stuff going on. What's your take on that entire situation?
Well, obviously the event got out of control. The reports I've read said there was not supposed to be more than 500 people at the event.
And there was people that said there maybe was even double that.
I've heard as high as 2,000.
Wow.
All right. Now, as a commissioner or a mayor, if I were at an event and we were exceeding the capacity, I think I would make a phone call to the supervisor.
And one of our commissioners was in,
Right.
because we see him as a point of contact.
Right. I think I would have called the police supervisor and said, we may want to break this down because it's getting out of control. You get too many people together, we all can get rowdy.
Yeah.
And I can't imagine, I'm having a hard time picturing 2,000 people in the community park.
Yeah.
That is a huge event.
Yeah,
Huge.
if you put me out with 2,000 people, I'm gonna get crazy, you know.
Right, it's a party, but I understand there's alcohol there. I understand there were cars doing donuts. It was just getting
in the area
in the park. It was just getting out of control.
Oh, okay.
And it's very unfortunate that happened.
Yeah.
And in the future, we have to make sure those events don't happen.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And we're lucky nobody was injured. Very
absolutely.
lucky.
Absolutely. Now, your name is not going to be the only name on the ballot coming up.
That's correct.
Why should people vote for you instead of any of the other candidates?
I think if you look at my past experience and public service in town, you'll see I'm committed to making this a better town. I'm accessible. For example, you'll see on my webpage, which will be released shortly, I plan on having office hours in the town hall.
Okay.
I want people to be able to stop by and see me. I would be happy to come and speak to civic groups, to HOAs, to neighborhoods. I want to try to be part of that transparency communication.
Okay.
I'm retired after 51 years. I don't have any children. I have time.
Yeah.
And when I was a commissioner, even though I was working full-time at the university, it was about a 20 to 25 hour a week job. I spent a lot of nights up till midnight in town hall working because there's so much documentation to read, study. None of us are experts on this.
Absolutely.
Even studying blueprints for subdivisions, it's not a 30-minute job.
Right.
And then you have questions, and you're trying to figure out where the units are going to be, and is this the final document, or is this a draft and proposed document? And I tell everybody I've not seen the perfect subdivision yet.
Okay.
For example, I had an endorsement meeting with the realtors here in Wake County, and I was telling them there's a couple things I'd like to see happen. Since we're growing out here, rather than me meeting with a developer when they've already got the project scoped out,
Yeah.
why not bring all the developers in and have a big meeting
Sure.
on what Zebulon needs and how can we work together to build these neighborhoods out. I did ask Commissioner Miles to go with me one time for a cup of coffee at 6 o'clock in the morning, and we went to a subdivision to watch it wake up.
Yeah.
And we parked our car and we watched people get up and get ready to go to work carrying their little cups of coffee. And then we watched the kids come out and get ready for the school bus. And I made the comment to Commissioner Miles, look at what those kids are doing. And he goes, they're sitting on the curb. I said, yeah, they're sitting on the curb. They're sitting on car bumpers. They're sitting on transmission boxes. There's no bus shelter.
They need benches.
Right, they need benches and bus shelters. And as I told the realtors, when you think about a shelter, you like to have that there before people buy a house.
Yeah.
Because if you're married and got 5 kids, you may want the bus shelter in front of your house for convenience. If you're an old, cranky, retired person, you may not want that shelter near you because of the noise and the trash, okay? And then thinking a little bit deeper, long-term planning, guess where the elderly people can go who walk the neighborhood and want to sit together and talk? They can sit in the shelter during the day. It becomes a public gathering spot. So it actually has dual purposes.
Sure.
So
I guess something like that, you just won't want it like too close to your own house, I guess.
Well, some people want one. They don't have a problem with it. For example, some people don't mind living near the pool because it's a shorter distance.
Sure.
Other people want to be further away from the pool.
I guess it's just
so they
whatever
don't hear it. It's a personal preference thing.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So anyone that might be on the fence, whether they should vote for you or not, what would bring them over the line on why you are different than other candidates?
There are going to be several meet and greets between now and November. They need to attend at least one of those. And I say talk to all the candidates, okay? And if you want to have a private meeting, I'm open to doing that because sometimes people are not comfortable talking to you for an hour at a meet and greet. They feel like they get 2 or 3 minutes with you and have to leave. I'm open to private meetings. Obviously, see my website, Larry Loucks for Zebulon Mayor. You will see my ideas on there, and I cannot take credit for all the ideas on my webpage because I talk to citizens and they've given me some great ideas that are on my webpage that I would like to get done. But as mayor, I cannot do all this myself. I need commissioner support, and most of all, I need the citizens' involvement to be involved in how this town grows.
Well, Mr. Larry Loucks, I would say you're AKA Mr. Accessible for your upcoming run here, and I wish you a whole lot of luck. And thank you so much for coming on.
Just looking forward to making Zebulon a better place for all of us.
Yes, sir.
All right. Thanks, Nick.
Yes, sir. All right, guys, this is a message from Mr. Larry Loucks. Guys, Saturday, August 16th, 2025. This is a private venue from 4 p.m. until 6:30 p.m. Dinner will be by Parker's Barbecue. Feast on barbecue and all the fixings from Parker's Barbecue, including their legendary banana pudding for dessert. Dinner tickets, $60 per person. There's a 50-50 raffle. Win big, give back. You win, they win. Half the prizes goes to you. The other half supports endorsed candidates ready to move Zebulon forward. 50-50 raffle, $10 each. 5 for $45. Buy a ticket to support local leadership with integrity, accountability, and vision. Enjoy barbecue, guest speakers, music, and the excitement of launching a new chapter in Zebulon's future. RSVP by August 12th, guys. That is today, guys. So if you guys are watching this, RSVP to Mr. Larry Loucks. You can email them at forward@movezebulonforward.org. If you got questions, you can contact them, call or text at 919-413-5083 or 919-422-6381.